Imagine this, a man who has already lost almost everything: his wife, his stability, his peace. He finds himself standing at a crossroads where a single choice could change not just his life, but the lives of two strangers forever. What would you do if you were barely holding on, yet someone even more broken than you suddenly needed saving? This is the story of Adam, a struggling single father, whose life took a dramatic turn the night he decided to open his door to a beaten woman and her terrified child. What followed days later, when the police revealed the truth, was something no one expected. Adam's life had been far from easy. At just 34, he had already been through the kind of heartbreak most people can't even imagine. His wife, Claire, had passed away 2 years earlier from a sudden illness, leaving him to raise their 6-year-old daughter, Lily, all on his own. Money was tight. He worked long shifts at a mechanic shop during the day and sometimes picked up night deliveries just to pay the rent. Their home was small, barely more than a run-down apartment on the outskirts of town, but Adam tried to make it feel warm for Lily. Every night, no matter how exhausted he was, he read her a story and promised her things would get better. One rainy evening, as Adam was locking up the shop late, he noticed movement in the alley beside the garage. At first, he thought it was just a stray cat, but then he heard a muffled sob. His heart tightened as he stepped closer, and there he found her, a woman, bruised and trembling, clutching a little boy who couldn't have been older than 4. Her clothes were torn, her face swollen, and her eyes darted around like a hunted animal's. Adam froze for a moment, torn between fear and compassion, but when the boy whispered, "Mommy, I'm scared," he knew he couldn't walk away. He knelt down, speaking softly, introducing himself so he wouldn't frighten them further. The woman barely managed to say her name Saraha before collapsing into his arms from sheer exhaustion. Adam didn't think twice. He carried her and her son, Jacob, back to his apartment. Lily, already in her pajamas, peeked out from her room, startled by the sight of strangers in their home. But when she saw the boy clinging desperately to his mother, she quietly ran to grab one of her blankets and wrapped it around him. That night, the 4 of them shared a meal of leftover soup and bread, and though Sarah barely spoke, the way she clutched her son made Adam's chest ache. Over the next few days, Adam tried to piece together their story. Sarah had been trapped in an abusive relationship for years. Her husband was violent, controlling, and dangerous. She had finally found the courage to run, taking Jacob with her, but he had tracked her down and left her beaten in that alley. She had no family to turn to, nowhere to go. Adam didn't have much himself, but he gave them what he could: of food, safety, and kindness. Slowly, Sarah began to trust him. Lily, innocent and gentle, befriended Jacob, and soon their laughter filled the small apartment. For the first time in years, Adam felt a flicker of something. He thought he lost the hope, but the fragile peace didn't last long. One morning, as Adam was walking Lily to school, he noticed a car slowly driving past his building, circling back twice. His instincts told him it wasn't random. That night, Sarah confessed that her husband had powerful connections, people who helped him find her no matter where she went. Fear filled Adam's chest, but he refused to back down. He knew what it meant to fight for family, and he wasn't about to let Sarah and Jacob slip back into hell. Days later, everything came crashing down. The police knocked on Adam's door early in the morning. His stomach twisted with dread, thinking Sarah's husband had come for her. But the officers' words stunned him. They told Sarah that her abuser had been arrested after a tip led them to evidence of multiple crimes. The man wouldn't be hurting anyone else again. Adam glanced at Sarah, whose eyes brimmed with tears of relief, and for the first time, he saw her shoulders loosen, as if a mountain had been lifted off her back. Then came the shocking part. The police revealed that the anonymous tip had come from someone unexpected. It wasn't Adam, nor Sarah. It was Lily. The little girl had overheard Sarah's story one night and secretly written a note, slipping it to her teacher at school, begging for help to protect her new friend Jacob and his mom. That single act of bravery from a child had set everything into motion. The revelation left Adam speechless. He realized that while he had been trying so hard to be strong for Lily, it was her quiet strength, her innocent sense of justice, that had changed everything. Sarah sobbed as she hugged both children, whispering that they were safe now. Adam felt his heart swell with pride and humility. In the weeks that followed, Sarah and Jacob stayed with Adam and Lily as they worked on rebuilding their lives. There were challenges: legal paperwork, therapy sessions, financial strain, but together, they faced them as a makeshift family. Adam, once broken and struggling, found himself not just rescuing others but being rescued in return. Sarah brought warmth back into his home, and Jacob became like a brother to Lily. Slowly, a new kind of love began to bloom, one built not on fairy tales, but on shared scars, courage, and healing. And that's the message I want you to take away from this story. Even when you feel like you have nothing left to give, kindness has a way of multiplying. Sometimes, the most unexpected people, the tired mechanic, the grieving father, even the brave little girl, become the heroes who changed lives forever. Adam thought he was saving Sarah and Jacob, but in truth, they were all saving each other.